allies. Friends and I allies.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm gonna be doing a video response to Ballinicks1982's video. It was his top 10 Super Nintendo games. Super Nintendo's my favorite console, so I thought I'd do this response. I got 10 games here in no particular order. Yeah, man. I mean, the first and second one are a tie. I mean, the first one, the first game I'm gonna well, the last game I'm gonna show you, which is the first one, has always been my favorite one, but now it's kind of getting tied with another game. But yeah, man, let me just get to it, man. Super Nintendo, favorite console. Still have my original copy. Got it on my 7th birthday back in '92. I think it's one of the best consoles ever. I know Ballinicks, he had a lot of RPGs in his. I don't have any RPGs. I think I have a pretty good amount of just whatever. But yeah, alright. First one I'm going to show you, this is the only one I don't have the box for. But I'm eventually going to get the box. And that is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4, Turtles in Time. This game, growing up, I had a friend that lives across the street that he bought this new, like when it first came out, and man, this was like, this was like one of the best games ever. Like, people say this is they figure it's like the best beat 'em up. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's the best beat 'em up. It's up there. It's too damn easy, honestly. But man, my friend had it, and I've been playing this game for 20 years now, and it still holds up today. It's still fun. I even played it in the arcade back then. I have pictures of myself. My parents took pictures of me playing in the arcade. But yeah, I mean, this game is very popular with everybody knows about this game. Turtles 4, Turtles in Time, some of the best gameplay ever. And I mean, I love the cover as well. The art is sick, and that's why I want to get it complete, man. I want to get a box complete because this is one of my favorite games. Like, this is a game I grew up with. This isn't just something I just recently played or I just recently discovered. Nah, I've played this since it first released, and I'm telling you, man, it's aged pretty well. Like, you can still play it today, man. Today, one of the best games ever, man. Best games ever. All right, next game. Another game I played back in the day. That is Super Double Dragon. I just love Double Dragon, period. Like, for the NES, Double Dragon 2 is my favorite Nintendo game. Super Double Dragon isn't my favorite Super Nintendo game, but it's pretty good. It is kind of slow, but I love beat 'em ups. Beat 'em ups is my favorite genre of games. And I remember my mom used to babysit this kid back in the day when I was like in 4th or 5th grade. And he brought this game over. He was like a year or two younger than me, and he had this game and he brought it over, man. I remember we playing this like all day. And yeah, so I mean, I grew up with this game. This game is dope, and you know, I was fortunate enough to get this copy boxed. I got this when Blockbuster was getting rid of all their Super Nintendo games, and it must have been like summer of '99 or something like that, and I bought it, and I'm glad I did because the music is so awesome. To even have like the music in this game is sick. They even have one of the original Double Dragon songs in it, and it's like remixed, like Super Nintendo version. But this game is sick, dude. I love this game, and honestly, after this, Double Dragon fell off. They came out with a fighting game based on the cartoon, but this game's dope. Love it. I couldn't do this list without a Donkey Kong Country, but I had to pretty much decide which one was my favorite. I didn't. You know, by the time 3 came out, I was already on the PS1, so I really didn't play that one that much. I own it, and then so it came down to 1 and 2. 1 is awesome. I got it on release day. Like, I got it Christmas of '94. I remember that being the biggest thing ever. I love Donkey Kong Country 1. But I'm going to have to go with Donkey Kong Country 2 as the better game. I just feel they just did so much better with this. I don't know, man. I think I just like the levels more. I feel they didn't take away anything, but they added, and what they added was good. And this is my original copy. After all these years, I got this like in 1995. How long has that been? 18 years now. I remember my sister gave me this for my birthday. She worked at a retailer called Montgomery Ward's up in it was back in the day Wheaton Mall here in Maryland. And yeah, man, I appreciate my sister giving me this. I played this all the time, and I just love the music, the graphics, the characters. To me, Donkey Kong Country 2 is the best one out of all three, my opinion. This game is dope, man. This game is sick. I remember renting this. This game can compete with some of the top best fighters back in the day. That is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters. You know, I remember renting this. I mean, obviously, I'm a huge Ninja Turtle fan. I mean, dog, honestly, if you grew up in the time I grew up, you're a Ninja Turtle fan. You know, you just are. Like, and this was a no-brainer. I rented this, and dude, honestly, I'd have to say this is just as good as Street Fighter. This could be even better than the Super Nintendo version. I have the Nintendo version, it's some shit, and the Genesis version is the worst version. That game is terrible, but the Super Nintendo version is the best Tournament Fighters version ever. On top of that, the graphics are nice, it's colorful, it's vibrant, gameplay is awesome, controls are sick, smooth, and the music in this game is on point. This game is dope. I remember I wanted to get this game I've had the Kart for years now, but I just got the box recently. But back in the day, I remember back in 1993, my parents, you know, we were at like EB Games in the mall, and they were gonna buy me a game. And I remember I was like, "Mom, can I get this?" And I pointed out I wanted Tournament Fighters, but they weren't trying to get it because it was $50. Instead, I had to settle for the aquatic games featuring James Pond. Because that one was $29.99. This was $49.99. My parents were trying to give that extra $20. Now, I mean, I understand $50 back in 1993 is a hell of a lot more than $50 today. But I was glad I was able to rent it. This game is dope. Dope fighting game, man. I recommend that shit. Honestly, a lot of these games are games that I rented. Like, looking at the rest of them, all these games are games that I rented and I played, and I'm glad I rented some of the best games ever. I don't even think I've ever rented a shitty game, or maybe it's just the fact that Super Nintendo rarely has shitty games. But this game was another game I rented all the time. Did I even beat this game? I think I did beat this game back in the day as a kid, but this game is dope. It's the Magical Quest starring Mickey Mouse. Let me tell you, man, I don't know what it was back in the day, 16-bit days, man, but Disney games were dope. And another thing is Capcom made it. Capcom just knows how to make games. They could turn Mickey Mouse into one of the coolest characters in a video game. Like, this game is so fun, dude. I'm telling you, this game is dope. The graphics are just so sick. Once again, music is dope. I don't know what it is about me and music. Sometimes I'll play games just for music. Like, it's just ridiculous, but I'm having good times with this game, man. I'm renting it all the time, and just, it's tough. It's a hard game. It's not easy. But yeah, man, if you haven't played this game, get it. Like, play this now. This game I didn't rent too much, but I remember I think I got it back in like middle school, and I played the shit out of this game. Like, you couldn't even touch me in this game. Like, I got so good at this channel, I could beat anybody, like everybody in this, without even getting hit, nothing. Now, I don't know, I haven't played this game in years, but that is Super Punch-Out. I used to think this game looked so cool back in the day. I remember there was ads on it in GamePro magazines, and the ads looked so cool, you know, and, you know, I don't see too many people talking about this. Like, whenever I view people's channels, or, you know, people that collect retro games or their favorite games, nobody ever mentions Super Punch-Out. It's always Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, which I understand, because That's the first one, but it's good. But nobody ever talks about Super Punch-Out. This game isn't even that expensive either. Like, I'm surprised. I figured this game would be expensive, but this game is sick, man. This game is one of the best Super Nintendo. I'm dead serious. To me, in my personal opinion, if you don't like this game, you suck. Point blank right there. You suck. I don't understand why you wouldn't like this game. This game is one of the most fun games on the Super Nintendo. And I just love the graphics. Like, trying to figure out the patterns to defeat the people. And it's just dope, man. I'm telling you. You guys gotta play that. The game is sick. Once again, I have another game. It's another original copy. This was the first Super Nintendo game I got. I got it along with my Super Nintendo. So I had Super Mario World that came with the system, and then I got this game. And it's still my original copy, man. I got it complete. It's not in bad shape either. And man, let me tell you, I played this game all the time, dude. I'm like the master at this game. And that is Super Mario Kart. This game is so... You know, I'm not gonna lie. The games that I had as a kid, like, I had like maybe 6 Super Nintendo games as a kid. And the rest I rented. This was one that I had, you know, that I owned. And a lot of the games that I owned, since I played them so much, I really don't consider them my favorite because, honestly, I played them too much. Like, you know, I felt like I overdid it. Like, I played it out, you know. But looking through my collection to figure out which one were my top 10, this game, man, as much as I put like 1 trillion hours into this, and, you know, it's not the type of game that I automatically would put in because I know everything about, like, I know every nook and cranny of this game, like, everything. Like, it still has to be my top 10, because it's just that good, man. And to me, this is the best Super Mario Kart. Everybody claims Mario Kart 64 is better than this. You're fucking nuts if you think that. And then Double Dash, I don't know, I haven't played too much of Double Dash, but this game is dope, man, I'm telling you. Right there. Okay, getting down the wire. Top 3. I'm just going to show you this. Mega Man X. To me, out of all the Mega Man X games, this is by far the best Mega Man X. The villains, the bosses, the levels, the music, everything, man. It's simple. Growing up as a kid, I didn't really play any of the Mega Mans for the NES. I knew about them, you know. The first Mega Man I ever recognized was Mega Man 3. I remember Mega Man 4. I don't remember 5 and 6 because those were kind of rare. Those came out a little later, so I don't really remember those. But 3 and 4 were the ones back in the day that I remembered. But it wasn't until I rented this game. I rented Mega Man X, and it was probably the first experience I had with Mega Man. And honestly, I fell in love with this game. Like, I remember I rented it, and when I rented it, I told my parents, "Oh man, I totally need this game for my birthday. Like, could you please buy it for me for my birthday or Christmas?" They never ended up buying it for me because I just kept renting it. And after a while, I didn't really want it because I pretty much beat it every time I would rent it. But man, this game, dude, is so good. This game is so sick, man. Fucking love this game, man. The music, I swear, the music in this game is the best. This game is so sick. I love it. Ugh. Okay, last 2, coming down the wire, last 2. Another game rented all the time. Well, I didn't rent this game. My friend would rent this game, and I always slept over his house. He would always rent this game. And this game is just so sick, man. And, you know, big ups to my collection 7000. I don't know if he still watches my videos or what have you. But I won't forget it, man. He pretty much sent me this game. Like, he gave it to me. I think he found it at a thrift store. And, you know, this game is so nostalgic to me, man. Like, I'd play this all the time as a kid at my friend's house when we sleep over. He had good times playing it. And so, yeah, shout out to my collection 7000 being a good dude, man. I ain't gonna forget it, man. Like you pretty much reconnected me with Contra III. Contra III is the shit. It is the bomb. Once again, similar to Mega Man X, Contra 3 was pretty much my first experience with Contra. I didn't play Contra 1 or Super C for the NES. And honestly, I didn't know about Contra or Super C for the NES. This was my first experience with Contra. And this is the best Contra, man. I'm sorry, this is by far the best Contra. I remember my friend would rent it. The first time we rented it, we'd play it and we beat it. And every weekend, he'd always rent a game. And pretty much every weekend, I sleep over. He lives across the street. And, I'd always ask, yo, so what game did you rent this weekend? I rented Contra 3. I'm like, dude, why did you rent Contra 3 again? You rent this game all the fucking time. We beat it all the time. And, I'm not gonna lie, back in the day, I was annoyed of it, because I was like, man, let's rent some new games we haven't played. But in the end, man, I'm glad he kept renting Contra 3, because this game is so nostalgic, brings back memories, and just everything about it, man. This is a man's game, dude. This game is mannish. So, that game is pretty much tied with my favorite Super NES game. And this is it, man. Once again, another game I rented. I just think, to me, this game has everything. That is Battletoads and Battlemaniacs. As I was saying, it has everything. It's a beat 'em up. There's some racing elements in it. There's some puzzle parts with the snakes. It's different. Like, each stage is different. It's not just complete beat 'em up. Each stage is different. And on top of that, the music's dope. Unlike Contra and Mega Man, my first experience with Battletoads was on the original NES. Like, I used to rent Battletoads for NES all the time, man. That game was hard as shit. Even today, I still can't beat that shit. But when this came out, I rented it, and man, I loved it. The bonus level, like, where you're like I think you're on a checker, and you're like on a glass checkerboard, and you're trying to get all these bowling pins, dude. This shit is so retarded. It makes no sense, and it doesn't have to make sense, because it doesn't matter, because it was just fun. It was just dope, dude. It was ridiculous. The graphics are dope, and the music, once again, dude, all these games, the music just brings back memories. Like, the music is just so sick, so dope, man. To me, this was so 90s, like, Rash with the shades, and, I don't know, man. To me, this is my favorite Super Nintendo game. I can't get enough of this game. I love it to death, and it's hard as shit, but I've beaten it. I figured, like, one day I'd just do a complete run without dying, because I know this game from beginning to end, dude. And I'm telling you, man, this game is hard, especially when you're on those snakes. That shit is hard, man. If you can beat that without dying, you are a pro. But one of these days I'm gonna beat this game without dying. Like, it's that serious. Like, I'm telling you, I can beat this game without dying, man. I just gotta take the time to do it. I just don't, since I'm fucking old and I have responsibilities now. But that's it, guys. That is my top 10 Super Nintendo games. And I pretty much own my top 10 Super Nintendo games. Like, there's notable mentions, like Kirby Superstar was sick, King of Dragons, Congo's Caper, Earthworm Jim, Star Fox, Final Fight, Super Street Fighter. I was gonna put a Street Fighter in here, man, but I don't know. I feel Street Fighter, like, one of the alpha games is one of the best Street Fighters. If I had to pick a Street Fighter, it'd be Super Street Fighter would be my favorite Super Nintendo Street Fighter. I was going to pick a Final Fight. Final Fight 1 was the one I grew up with, but it was just too hard. I was thinking, 2 isn't all that, but 3 was good, but, I think I had a pretty good list here. It's tough picking the top 10, but in any given day, I'll play these games. I'll pop these games in anytime. I can play them anytime. Whenever. I don't even have to be in the mood to play them. I can play them anytime, dude. So, that's it, guys. That was my top 10 Super Nintendo games. Appreciate Ball and Nick for doing that, giving me the idea. So, yeah, guys. Once again, thanks for watching. Peace out.